Welcome to a new edition of All About Apps from the Cleveroad studio. Today we're going to talk about getting the marketing exposure your product deserves without breaking the budget. So, your brainchild is finally ready for launch. Next comes the difficult part, getting it noticed amongst the thousands of other offerings. Discussions in forums often don't get you the circulation you need to generate wider interest. Hiring a PR company and producing an advertising campaign is one solution, but that can be very expensive and is still no guarantee of success. However, we do hear stories of products going viral and getting lots of attention, downloads, orders and such like. All these stories have one thing in common. They were featured on Product Hunt. Product Hunt is a growing force in the world of tech and business, frequented by passionate entrepreneurs, early adopters, journalists and investors. It is a place that helps users discover and share the next big thing. Being featured on Product Hunt is not only prestigious, but also highly rewarding. The first question is, how do you get something submitted on Product Hunt? Well, only active members of the community can nominate products. So if you're not in that group, you need to befriend one of them. You'll need to become part of the wider Product Hunt community well in advance of your planned launch date. The best nominator to choose would be a so-called top hunter. These are the makers or moderators of the site. Next is to prepare a strategy for your launch. Is this going to be an exclusive to Product Hunt? Are there going to be special offer deals for members of the Product Hunt community? If yes, then you need to get the notices ready for your landing or homepage. The timing of the launch is also an important factor. To get maximum global coverage, you need to unleash your product just after midnight London time, because that's when Product Hunt's calendar starts its new daily listings. Get a list ready of all the people you need to contact on the day of the launch to get them involved. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn and Slack groups are a good start. Get a media kit produced. It should include things like photos, videos or screenshots. Also, have company or founder profiles ready, a press release statement and market research data. For the day of the launch, you should have a tagline prepared, a brief description of what your product does and create a landing page that will register user coverage. You should also have your introductory comment prepared, describing the inspiration behind the product, how it's different from your competitors, and where you plan to go with it in the future. Jot down some possible comment responses, ideas, as well as thank you messages for those that comment. Now, we're going to talk about getting your product onto the Product Hunt homepage and hopefully to the top of the list. Anyone who is a Product Hunt community member can vote. Ideally, they should cast their votes from your Product Hunt project page. A vote from an active member of the community, those who can comment, carries more weight than those in the general community. Of course, the number of comments your product receives goes towards your ranking. The question of voting dynamics is a difficult one. Some think that a burst of interest just after launch has a better chance, while others suggest a steady stream of votes have more influence. Exclusivity and deals for product hunters also helps to nudge up the table. The other stuff is known only to the secret chefs and apothecaries at Product Hunt. Once released, 48 hours of hard work starts. There's going to be two peak periods during the launch day, the middle of the working day in Europe and again in the United States. Make time to thank everyone who has upvoted your product. You can follow them on Twitter or Product Hunt or upvote their products. Call friends, email users, communicate with groups. The idea is to get people focused on your product and don't forget about the different time zones. Summing up, to get featured successfully on Product Hunt, you need to have an awesome product, have an influencer who can submit your product to Product Hunt, take an active part in discussions, and some good luck. Well, that's about all we have time for today. If you want to read the full article, then visit the blog page on the Cleveroad website. You'll find the direct link below. See you again soon on another edition of All About Apps. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.